When you look back at the early 1970s in America, you see an automotive landscape that was full of contradictions. It was a moment when people wanted power but were starting to worry about fuel, when manufacturers were trying to make bolder designs but also had to keep prices low, and when cars had to feel modern even if the technology was still catching up. And right in the middle of all this confusion stood a car that, strangely, carried much more brilliance than the attention it received, the 1970 Dodge Dart. The Dodge Dart has always existed in that strange space where a car can be excellent, durable, surprisingly advanced, and yet, not fully appreciated by the mainstream public. And when we talk specifically about the 1970 model, you start to realize how odd that situation really was. Because this wasn't just a small sedan. It wasn't just a budget Mopar. It wasn't just something people bought because they couldn't afford a Charger or a Challenger. The Dart, in 1970, was something else entirely. It was an engineering experiment hiding inside a simple body. It was a sleeper not only on the road, but in history. And today, I want to walk with you through the real reasons behind that, the things the brochures didn't say, the things most people don't even remember, and the things that make many collectors today look back and say, wow, the Dart deserved more. When you look at the 1970 Dart for the first time, the design might trick you into thinking it's a calm, conservative little car. The lines are clean, the proportions are compact, and the front fascia doesn't scream aggression. But the moment you start opening the hood, touching the chassis, or driving it for even 10 minutes, suddenly it becomes clear that Dodge wasn't building a simple commuter car. They were building something tougher, smarter, and more responsive than people expected in its segment. Take the engines, for example. Everyone remembers the famous Slant 6, that crazy angled inline six that seemed almost immortal. It was underrated to the point where people still call it one of the most durable engines ever made in the American market. But in 1970, the Dart wasn't just offering durability, it was offering options that could transform the car's personality entirely. The 318 V8 gave it torque that made the car feel much larger than it was. And the 340? Well, the 340 was flat out wild for such a small platform. It made the Dart dance. It made it jump forward with a lightness that bigger muscle cars couldn't replicate. It gave it character, a kind of spicy, youthful personality wrapped inside a car that grandfathers also loved. And this is where the story gets interesting. Because Dodge, and the whole Chrysler Group, was experimenting with weight distribution, suspension geometry, and steering that made the Dart far more stable than people thought a budget compact needed to be. Most American cars of the era used soft suspensions, floaty steering, and brakes that, honestly, felt overwhelmed when you pushed the car a bit harder than normal. But the Dart responded differently. It didn't try to imitate luxury like some competitors. It didn't try to be overly sporty either. It was something in between, a car that felt planted without losing comfort. Imagine a young driver in 1970, maybe someone who couldn't afford a Challenger but wanted something that actually felt good to drive. They walk into a dealership, see a Dart Swinger or a Dart Custom, sit inside, start the engine, and suddenly the car gives them that confident rumble, that unmistakable Mopar vibration through the steering wheel, that sense of control without intimidation. And then they drive it and realize, wait a second, this thing handles better than it should. That's the moment when the Dart reveals its identity, a car built with more engineering depth than marketing hype. And the Dart didn't just rely on its engines or its handling. The body structure, although simple, was extremely rigid for its class. This rigidity made the car safer, made it more durable over time, and helped the suspension do its job properly. That's something most people never think about. Cars with weak chassis can have powerful engines, but the driving experience always feels incomplete. The Dart, however, had this strange balance where everything seemed to match: the strength of the frame, the weight of the car, the gearing, the steering behavior. It was like Dodge accidentally created the perfect canvas for both everyday driving and performance upgrades. And maybe that's the biggest irony of the Dodge Dart: it was too good at too many things. It was good for families, for young drivers, for racers, and for people who just wanted a reliable car that wouldn't fall apart after 5 years. It satisfied everyone, but because of that versatility, it never became the iconic muscle car people now obsess over. It didn't have the dramatic curves of a Cuda or the swagger of a Charger. It wasn't the poster car. It was the worker, the one that quietly did its job better than anyone gave it credit for. Now, let's imagine the world of 1970 for a moment. The United States was seeing major cultural shifts. Younger buyers wanted individuality. The muscle car war was reaching its peak. Emissions regulations were starting to appear on the horizon. Insurance companies were raising rates on high-horsepower cars. And in this whirlwind, the Dart found itself in a strange position. It wasn't flashy enough to be the hero, but it was too strong to be ignored. It had real performance potential, real engineering, and real reliability. But because it didn't scream for attention, the crowd walked past it. And that's where the underestimation begins. People assumed it was slow, until a 340 Dart pulled next to them at a stoplight. People assumed it was basic, until they realized how well the cabin materials held up after years of use. People assumed it wasn't innovative, until they learned that Chrysler engineered several small improvements on the Dart long before competitors did, like better airflow to the carburetor, harmonic balancer refinements, and subtle suspension updates that made cornering more predictable. It's strange, isn't it? Sometimes the best machines are the ones that don't brag. And if you talk to anyone who owned a 1970 Dodge Dart, you'll notice something fascinating. Almost everyone describes the car with a sense of affection. Not admiration like, wow, it was cool. But affection like, that car never let me down. That's a different kind of legacy. Because cool cars can be forgotten, but trustworthy ones? Those become part of a person's life story. The Dart is also one of those cars that aged surprisingly well. When you look at it today, the proportions feel timeless. The size is perfect for modern streets. The driving experience is raw in a way that modern cars simply can't replicate. There's no computer correcting your mistakes. No traction control making decisions for you. No electronic steering filtering the feedback. It's just you and the machine, a very honest machine. And this honesty is part of why the Dart is so respected among enthusiasts today. People finally realized that behind the simple design, there was a car built with real intention. Chrysler engineers didn't treat the Dart like an entry-level throwaway product. They treated it like a car that should last. A car that should respond well to upgrades. A car that should feel strong even decades later. And maybe that's the biggest point of all, the Dart didn't ask for attention, but it deserved it. Before we move into the next part of this story, where we'll dive deeper into why the Dart's engineering was so ahead of its time, how it performed against rivals, and why its reputation finally changed, it's important to recognize something. The 1970 Dodge Dart wasn't a loud hero of its era. It was the quiet backbone. The reliable friend. The car that looked simple but carried brilliance under the surface. The kind of car people remember fondly not because it was the flashiest, but because it was real. When we look deeper into why the 1970 Dodge Dart carried so much hidden brilliance, we start noticing details that most people in its time never even thought about. And that's the curious thing about cars like this. While other models became legends because they shouted their presence loudly, the Dart gained respect quietly, almost secretly, through engineering choices that only revealed their value many years later. One of the most interesting aspects of the Dart's legacy is how well it responded to the challenges that were beginning to shake the American automotive industry. Even though the full impact of emissions regulations and the fuel crisis hadn't hit yet, engineers could already see the direction the market was heading. And somehow, the Dart's design anticipated the need for efficiency without abandoning performance completely. It didn't rely on massive weight or oversized components to feel strong. Instead, it was compact, rigid, and intelligently assembled. That foundation became its superpower. Think about it like this: muscle cars from the early 70s were huge, wide, dramatic machines that delivered unforgettable noise and speed, but they also drank fuel faster than anyone expected and carried weight that didn't age well. The Dart, on the other hand, carried none of that burden. It wasn't oversized. It wasn't unnecessarily heavy. It didn't need a monster engine to feel alive. Even the smaller V8s gave it enough spirit to surprise drivers who underestimated it. And maybe the most important part, the Dart felt balanced. Balance is one of those qualities that people don't always notice until they've driven dozens of cars and finally look back and say, wait, that little Dodge handled better than it had any right to. But that balance wasn't magic. It was the result of engineering choices Dodge made on purpose, using a compact wheelbase, aligning suspension geometry more precisely than competitors in the same price range, and distributing the car's weight in a way that made every movement feel natural. Even the steering ratio was chosen with surprising care. The car didn't wander. It didn't float. It didn't feel disconnected. In an era when so many American cars disappeared into soft suspension and vague feedback, the Dart stayed awake. Owners felt this, even if they didn't explain it in technical terms. They would say things like, "It felt good in corners," or, "That car never scared me," or even, "I could push it a little and it always behaved." That's engineering speaking through experience. And it's one of the reasons the Dart has such a loyal following today among people who know how to feel a car rather than just look at one. But let's talk about performance for a moment, because that's an area where the Dart's reputation has changed dramatically over the years. In 1970, if you asked someone to name the strongest American cars, they would point to big names: Challenger R/T, Hemi, Cuda, Chevelle SS, Mustang Boss 302, and so on. The Dart was almost never part of that conversation. It was seen as the small Mopar, the car for people who wanted something affordable. Yet, ironically, the Dart with a proper engine setup could leave many of those more famous cars embarrassed at a red light. The 340 V8 option alone turned the Dart into a rocket disguised as a grocery getter. It wasn't just powerful, it was efficient in how it used that power. The lighter body, the shorter wheelbase, and the rigid chassis all worked together to translate horsepower into movement with very little waste. That's why some drivers who owned both a big Mopar and a Dart said the smaller car actually felt faster in real-world conditions. It launched harder, required less distance to build momentum, and delivered a sense of agility that heavier muscle cars couldn't match. Even drag racers eventually understood the Dart's secret. Many of them built race-ready Darts long after the car had left showrooms, because the platform was almost perfect for modifications. It handled upgrades like it was designed for them: stronger engines, bigger carburetors, better heads, improved exhausts, and even weight reduction. The car responded beautifully to every change, which is why the Dart became a legend at the drag strip even while staying underrated on the streets. But here's the part of the story that really shows how misunderstood the Dart was. People didn't realize that Dodge had actually introduced several pieces of forward-thinking technology in this model. Not futuristic, flashy technology that appears in advertising, but quiet advancements that made the car feel more refined and reliable. For example, Chrysler engineers made subtle improvements to engine cooling, improving the flow of air across the radiator and reducing overheating issues that were common in other American cars of the same class. This made the Dart's reliability even stronger, especially in hot environments. They also improved harmonic balancing to reduce vibration at higher RPMs, something you really notice when you compare a Dart to other compact cars from the same era. Even the wiring layout was designed in a way that made maintenance easier and less prone to electrical failures. Small details, yes, but they add up. And maybe the most underrated innovation of all was how the Dart embraced simplicity as a form of technology. Not simplicity as in cheap, but simplicity as in smart. Dodge engineers removed complexity where it wasn't needed, strengthened components where it mattered, and created a car that felt durable because it was durable. So while other brands were selling big dreams and big horsepower numbers, Dodge quietly delivered a car that could last 200,000 miles with basic maintenance. That kind of longevity wasn't an accident, it was engineering discipline. But even with all of this, the Dart remained in the shadows. And that brings us to one of the most fascinating questions in its story: why didn't America appreciate it at the time? Part of the answer comes from psychology, not engineering. People often want cars that represent who they want to be, not who they actually are. In 1970, the dream was to be the bold driver with a muscle car, the one with stripes, scoops, and styling that shook the streets. The Dart didn't project that image. It didn't look intimidating. It didn't look like it was trying to win anyone's approval. And because of that, it didn't dominate magazine covers or appear at the center of giant marketing campaigns. But the Dart didn't need an image. It needed time. And time, eventually, did what marketing didn't: it revealed the truth. As the years passed, many of the flashy muscle cars disappeared, broken, rusted, or too expensive to maintain. Meanwhile, the Dart kept going. It became the car that families remembered fondly, that collectors rediscovered decades later, that mechanics praised for its simplicity, and that young enthusiasts admired for being the perfect platform to modify. The underestimation turned into respect. Respect turned into admiration. And today, the Dart sits in that rare place where people realize it wasn't just a cheap compact. It was a masterpiece disguised as an everyday car. And this raises an interesting point: maybe the Dart wasn't underrated at all. Maybe it was just ahead of its time. People in 1970 weren't ready to appreciate a car that combined strength, technology, efficiency, and reliability in a package that wasn't trying to be a celebrity. They wanted a showpiece. The Dart was a tool. And like any great tool, its value becomes clearer only with years of use. If you look at the prices of classic cars today, you'll notice that the Dart is finally gaining recognition. Collectors have rediscovered what made it special. Drivers who get behind the wheel for the first time are shocked at how tight and responsive it feels compared to its contemporaries. Mechanics call it one of the easiest classic cars to maintain. And enthusiasts who appreciate engineering more than marketing love the Dart because it represents a kind of honesty that's becoming rare in the automotive world. And maybe that's the most beautiful part of this whole story. The 1970 Dodge Dart didn't become legendary because of hype or nostalgia. It became legendary because it earned respect through performance, reliability, and timeless design. It didn't ask to be famous. It just did its job extremely well. And now, decades later, people finally understand the genius behind that approach. So when we talk about the Dodge Dart being underestimated, we're not criticizing the car. We're describing a moment in history when people didn't realize that greatness can exist quietly. The Dart didn't roar to get attention. It didn't show off. It simply existed with excellence, and excellence always survives. And if there's one lesson this car teaches us, it's that engineering brilliance doesn't always shine immediately. Sometimes, it takes years for the world to catch up. But when it does, the appreciation hits even harder. The Dart wasn't just a car of its time, it was a car built with wisdom that went far beyond its era. And today, all of us who love automotive history can finally look at it and say, this little machine was one of the smartest creations Dodge ever put on the road.